Hi everyone, I'm Abbey Lesniewski. I run the Mercyhurst version of the Beehive. Now, were all four of you at the previous?
This is
This is the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about what we do as a whole before I talk about. So what we are as a whole is a network of Mercyhurst, Edinburgh, Cannon, the Erie County Public Library, and Penn State Fairman, and we help small businesses. We provide free services through grants, so we're entirely grant funded, and we're able to pay students through those grants to help small businesses and entrepreneurs within the Erie County footprint, as well as in the Appalachian region. So we actually can serve clients all the way down to Butler County in Pennsylvania. So with that grant, we just received that funding a year ago from the Appalachian Region Commission for us to serve down farther past that Erie County limit. So that is what we're trying to do, is obtain clients and help everyone outside of that Erie County limit. Gannon is entry-level business development acumen. So they do a lot of Kickstarter campaign when you're first starting out. How can you get funding? Are you going to be able to crowdfund? They'll do a crowdfund analysis for you and a starting your business roadmap. So they've actually started to create a business roadmap that can help you from where you start your business, just that idea, all the way to the end. The Erie County Public Library does things a little bit different. So they have this idea lab within the library, which has a glow forge. They have crickets, sewing machines, a bunch of different materials and tools that you can use and have access to. Edinburgh does graphic design support, so they'll help you with logos, website development. Chris does a lot of podcasting and social media help, so they can help small businesses in that regard. And Penn State Fairman does app development and product design, so they can actually help you develop an app, simple coding, but they can help you take that to a company that does coding full time. They can also do product development, so they can create molding, or say you're creating some sort of tool. I'm creating a water bottle, they'll create an inject mold, help you do that. So you can take that to manufacturing. But everything we do is to help small businesses through grant funding. Now, what I do is I have a team of about 16 students from Mercyhurst, and they do intel. So what we do is collection of data. Ours is a little bit different from other hives in that it's a lot of independent work from the students. So the students will do this research for you. The services we do provide: market analysis data, and I'll go through everything specifically. Competitive business intelligence. So what are your competitors doing? What are they doing well? What aren't they doing well? And how can small businesses use what they've done not well and use that to your advantage? Intellectual property. So we've had clients come through, they're starting patents, they have logos, trademarks. We can do that research, see if it's already established. Is your logo patent? Can you get it patented? Do you have a tagline that you can get an intellectual property? Get everything kind of legalized. Funding opportunities, we can look at grants. So we have access to do research on grant funding, as well as different funding sources. If there's loan opportunities that you're interested in, certain things like that. Social media is a huge one right now. So social media is a huge marketing tool. So a lot of clients would like access to that information. What time is the best time to post on social media? What's best for your industry? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. What are your competitors doing in the social media landscape, and how can you benefit from that? Are you going into an oversaturated market, or are you going into a niche and can you use what they're doing to your benefit? Industry best practices and mistakes to avoid. So what are your competitors doing well? What are they doing well? How can you use that to your advantage? Data collection and manipulation. So we have a couple data scientists within our reach that go through and data scrape. So they can find all of this information from, say, your social media page. What are you doing on Instagram? What's your consumer engagement like? Click-through rates. Search engine optimization is a big thing right now. So how are you looking when somebody types in your keywords on Google? Are you coming up at the top 3? Or are you coming up on the 3rd page? Cyber risk assessments is something new that we've installed. So we have a cybersecurity student that's doing security risk assessments on a website. Is your website hackable? They won't actually hack your website. It's all ethical. But they'll go through and say, hey, there's a red flag here. You have X, Y, and Z in your login information. All of these employees have your login information. This could be bad for the security of your company. Now, I'm not a cybersecurity major, so I do not know the keywords for cybersecurity tools. But he has created a keyword list to kind of go through what words you need to notice when you're going through and creating a website. So what we do is a lot of projects. So these are 3 clients that we've done in the past year and what we offer them. So Puristic Cat Cafe actually just opened on Monday. They had a launch downtown Erie, and they asked for social media competitors. What are other cat cafes doing in the area? So we looked at Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Cleveland. What other cat cafes are in that area? What have they done well and what haven't they done well? Market and data analysis. So one thing she did ask for is what can she post on social media? So the analyst went in and found pet holidays. So during certain months, there's certain holidays that you can post and you can use that to your advantage. So she's taking the cats and posting them on social media with certain pet holidays. And then she asked for how and why to use SEO. So how is search engine optimization going to help her? Simple Bow, this was an awesome company closer to Pittsburgh area. He's creating his own bow ties. So he wanted a little bit of research on how to get a car ride. I want a car to drive around Pittsburgh. What can I do to get a car ride? How do I do that? Wholesalers. I want to look to market this in airports. Airports is the word here. So how do I do that? How do I get into an airport and how do I wholesale an airport vending machine? Big thing was he wanted to look at vending machines. How do I get at that? So the students would research how to get into an airport, how to become a vendor within the airport, and how to wholesale. Compassionate Heart is a massage therapy company in Erie. Hers was a little different. So we have clients from all ranges, and we've had 4 or 5 different massage therapists. However, they all ask for different things. So Compassionate Heart was actually, she wanted to install new therapy-esque tools within her practice and get bigger. So the students actually did a product and market analysis on the products that she wanted. She wanted cool new things that go above and beyond my head. But how do I get those? Is there insurances that I have to get to put these machines in my practice? Are there special liabilities I have to go through? So the students did the research for what type of insurances were needed for those certain machines, and what are the competitors doing? So there weren't competitors in the area that wanted those or had those specific machines. So what are other competitors doing in Buffalo? What are they doing in Cleveland? What are they doing in Pittsburgh? And how can she use that to her advantage? So yes, she was the good one. Machines and installation was another one. And we did have graphic designers that actually created her logo. We do not offer graphic design services, as Embro has taken on that capability full time now. So they do create logos for you. And what can you do in a trademark realm? So you have this logo, you have this verbiage, experience your body and transcend yourself. How can she get in that trademark to do that? So our process is a little bit different to get into the IEL. We're on a queue on a rolling basis. So our students take on projects as they come and go. What we do is a terms of reference meeting. So it's just, I have a meeting with the client and my team meets, which are normally graduate students. We kind of talk about where your businesses are. And we can talk about that after I'm done. But what do you need? Are you looking for certain things? Are you looking to establish a location outside of the area? Or do you have an established location? Do you want a bigger one? That's some of the research that we can do. And we go through and we create a terms of reference. So it's a Word document, it's not legally binding by any means, but the students understand and the client understands what we're providing to you. Everything's free, you don't want to waste your time. So we want to give you something that you can use when you go out and do what you need to do with your business. So it's just a Word document with deliverables such as market analysis, competitors analysis, and then we add you to the queue. Normally, the student will email you directly and say, hey, I'm about to start your project. Is there anything that's changed in the past month or so, whenever we have this terms of reference meeting? And can I change something for you? Like, have you established a location? Now I don't need that anymore. So we'll look at something else. So right now we have 97 projects completed in the past year. So we have about 15 in the queue right now, and we do about 23 to 22 every semester. Right now, all the clients that we're adding to our queue would have a projected start date of the summer. However, some clients only want one or two things, and sometimes that'll go. So I normally project out further than sooner. So you just, it's like that present. Hey, we're helping you a little bit sooner. That is my spiel. I know it was short and sweet. It's a lot of information, but I'm being recorded, so I feel like now I can sit down and actually talk to you about the things because it is a lot of work for me. So in a sense that we're a little bit different than all the other hives, is the students are doing independent research for you, specific to what you need. So every client's different in rounds of work.
I think it's a great opportunity for businesses. I mean, we're excited to, my mind's already spinning in different ways. It hurts.
Do you have any, is it often that you will work with the other beehives and some of the handoffs as the businesses evolve? Do you typically see maybe a startup working with Gannon and then eventually working their way to the services that you provide on more of a kind of intermediate or advanced level?
Mm-hmm. So as we go, we all work together, which is weird, because we're all competing universities, but we all have this really cool relationship with each other that we're able to refer clients through, because all of our end goals is to help small businesses and entrepreneurs thrive. So I do have clients that'll come in and they have a sketchbook idea. What do I do with this? Now Gannon can help them, and then we can help them down the road, because a lot of times if you're working with two, especially Gannon, ourselves, and Penn State Parent, since we're providing a lot of information, sometimes it's super overwhelming in the process of starting and establishing what you need to do. So a lot of times they'll go to Gannon first, get that crowd-starter campaign started, Kickstarter, build that roadmap, and then you'll come to us later down the road and say, hey, I want this market research, or I need X, Y, and Z. A lot of clients are trying to build a business proposal for funding, different things like that. So we do work together with Gannon. Sometimes you need both at the same time. So you'll work with Gannon on that crowdsourcing, but you'll also get, hey, I need a competitor's analysis so I can pitch that I'm competitive in the market and I know.
And then having more than one doesn't want to queue.
We all have separate queues. So Gannon's queue, I believe, is a little bit longer than ours. But they all take different timelines. So ours is based on how many deliverables you have. So what is your competitor analysis? How long does it take the students to complete that? I'm unsure of how Gannon's queue functions. I know they have a student working on it. Penn State Parent is also in a queue base. And Borough does semester by semester. So they do have students working outside of the classroom, but their design practicum is something that they use to logo development websites. But all of our queues are different.
So I have a couple other questions that are semi-related. As far as the market analysis and some of the data collection that you use, this may be a strange question, but do you work with nonprofits?
Yes.
Okay.
So
and-
we can work with non-established business, nonprofits, anything. We actually worked with I believe Eating Together was one of our clients
Right.
last summer. And we did a bunch of research on funding opportunities and things like that. We've had a lot of nonprofits come through.
Great. Yeah, that's good to know.
Mhm.
We have a real estate investment company,
Okay.
and it's a little bit unique in that, you know, to kind of start from the beginning to the end, when you look at our whole process. The upfront piece, which is the marketing side, it's a little bit unique in that, you know, we don't go to the MLS to get a deal, it's all off market, right? And so there's a lot of different strategies, a lot of different marketing techniques. The one thing we don't do good is we have a website, but I wouldn't even call it a website, right? So, yeah, and we have, you know, we have no ability to take data, you know, to be up on the search engines for searching, I want you to sell my house, popping up top. That's a big missing piece for us.
Okay.
Once we acquire a house, so there's a new program that we're trying to kick off in Corey. We're meeting with, you know, a lot of different organizations in Corey that are trying to do a lot of redevelopment here. And we're trying to put together a program where we take kind of what our business model is today, which we've been tweaking over time. But it's putting, once we acquire the house, it's going after a group of people that aren't being taken care of in most cities, most towns. And it's the group of people that they have good paying jobs. They have lower credit scores because they've been through divorces, but they're good people. And they still want a home to their family,
Mhm.
but they can't go to the bank. And so, you know, our pitch is we're trying to pitch that, but it's along with taking homes that need some work, you know, that they're gonna put some sweat equity in. And so when you look at the pieces of that, it's, you know, it's finding those people, which there's a lot amount there. Usually if we get a house, she's selling the house in an hour or two, and that, you know, to a few weeks at most. So that's not the issue, finding those people. But it's finding the houses correctly, and finding the funding sources. So that could be low loans, low interest rate loans. It could be grants. The programs that they have in Corey, a lot of the grants for, and what was the name of the grant that if you take and you put $5 grand?
Matches.
The match, yeah. So hey,
Redevelopment.
and it's redo the outside of your place, and new windows, new siding, new roof. If you put in 10 grand, we'll put in 10 grand, right? The problem is with most of those programs, they're very centralized to a specific location in the city.
Mhm.
We're trying to expand that, right? I
We
don't
might
want
have
to tie
some
into that
everywhere.
location.
Yeah.
So we need them, but
No, I was not to interrupt, but at the same time, we're trying to tackle blight issues. Because that seems to be the biggest thing that affects communities,
Right.
you know, everywhere.
in our,
We meld them together.
yeah, what we always say is the solution for blight is don't ever let it get to blight, right? So we're trying to grab those houses right before that. So we've got the website up front, and then we've got, we'll try to figure out the way how to find the houses before they get to blight, but we got this funding piece in the center with the community we're trying to match up. And we have the people, we have the business model, so we take all that risk. We do the financing for the people, we find the people, we take all that risk on. So I'm okay there. I mean, except for that piece into the funding piece. On the tail end, what we're finding out now is because this business model is successful, and this is my big question for you guys. Do you ever help to work through process structure with VAs or with other help so that you can start to take the back end off of your daily job and when you're working, you know, on it, not in it?
I'm sure we could find something. I mean, it's a lot of research, so
Yeah,
as long as you're specific on what you need research on, you say, hey, this is Because you're the content matter expert, they're just diving into the deep dark web to find the information that you need.
Correct,
So is there companies that have done this? How do they do it successfully? If there is some,
right,
and they can search for it nationally. So obviously this isn't
right.
normal in Erie, Pennsylvania, you probably don't have any other competitors. But there is probably some somewhere outside of this area, so how do we do that?
Like as an example, I don't need her or me calling, getting insurance on the property we just bought. I don't need, it's all that back end stuff that it sucks up our, Jesus, we're up till late at night, that's not where we're gonna make our business grow. So to be able to scale up correctly, that back end's gotta be structured correctly. And a lot of the people that we have, some use VAs and some have figured that out.
Yeah.
But a virtual assistant a lot of them come from Singapore because they can speak good English, but we just worked with a bookkeeper for like a year to get the structure we needed for growing. I can imagine what the back end's gonna be,
Yeah,
So that's
you're
what-
looking at virtual assistants.
Yeah.
Yes,
Options,
yes, but
Okay.
options, virtual assistants.
yeah, it doesn't have to be VA. That's my first thought of using a VA for that.
Okay,
And then that process of how you do that. So
because you
Those-
have to have insurance to do it.
yeah, but there's a whole, like Lisa makes up a whole sheet of paper that once you acquire the property, there's a whole checklist of things that have to be done, including getting insurance on the property, getting all the documents, titles, right? So
But someone else could do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you don't need to be
gotcha.
doing that, right, and managing that, and managing the payments, making sure they're coming in on apartments.com. Yeah, is it easy to log in and do it and look to see who's behind? Sure, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, we need, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could find something. I don't see why they wouldn't, but also we have clients that come in all the time and the first thing that's popping into my head is preferred systems. And they do a lot of real estate training, so they also might have a network of people that might have that knowledge base.
Yeah,
That they're like, hey, yeah, I do have someone that could do virtual assistant work or real estate,
mhm.
so,
And we know the other peers that are doing, there's a small group of us.
yeah.
But then there's a little broader that we go out, with some peers and some mentors that everybody out there is kind of like touched this stuff a little bit. And I asked them, hey, how are you doing that website? We just spent $5,000 and we really still haven't got any.
Yeah.
Or the BA, those two BAs work out because we didn't structure our upfront content correctly or give a process to work on. They're trying, but those three pieces, I think, are key for us.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure we can figure it out. If not, that's what's great about the network, we can find
Agreed.
someone who can.
Agreed.
So, real estate is not my forte. I bought a house and it was not the greatest experience. So, just bringing back trauma. It was the first time homeowner thing too, so,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they're a little rough.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hot mess. But I'm sure we could figure it out. It's all going over my head right now, but as I process
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Sure.
and then once we discuss it with the broader team, I'm sure
Yeah,
ideas will pop up.
Yeah.
for sure.
This is the conversation I had with my daughter.
Or-
Feeling about being high maintenance or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
She's in the day-to-day life though too.
Right,
Like, this is what this acronym means.
right.
What is your business?
I have a food business.
Okay.
I'm expanding to catering and charcuterie and a lot of things, but I really want to expand to like Warren, Union City area, but I have like prepackaged healthy meals that I make daily.
Okay.
And I would love to find places that don't already serve food that I could just pop my food in there. Like I've done to a few places around here, but I would like to expand and do more.
Okay. So you're looking for locations, do they need a food license or is it something that you could do like a pop-up?
They just need, a NSF refrigerator or a cooler.
Okay. Okay.
but it has to be NSF approved, which a lot of places that already sell beverages, they have those.
Okay.
So I would either like rent a place on their shelves, or they could buy wholesale food, but it would come like daily or every other day.
Okay.
Healthier meals.
Awesome. Yeah, we can definitely do research on that. Making bulk maps and stuff with things in the area that you're trying to do.
And then every Thursday, I'm like, okay, sign me up, let's go.
Yeah. They're very used to doing that. They're very used to finding places and locations. We just had a bunch of, there's a Juice Plus Juice is a new wellness / she's doing juicing in Pittsburgh, but she wanted to find a location that could do a drive-through and things like that, but they have tools that they're able to look on a map. Hey, this is a restaurant that could work, or not a restaurant that could work, or breweries.
Right.
Good one.
Yeah, definitely. And I do pop-up dinners, so I would like to find restaurants that are closed on certain days or willing to give me their restaurant for a day.
Yeah,
Yes.
weddings. Contracting,
Yeah, so.
yeah. They can look up how to build contracts with people too.
Yeah.
Vendors. We just did a project for a makeup company. So, yeah.
That would be good.
And you have all my contact information, so all you have to do is email me and say, hey, and that's that starting point. That is when I add you to the queue, and then I'll put you in, and as soon as the students are ready to go, they go.
Right.
So we are hitting the summer, but they might be done sooner than the summer. You might be by the end of the spring semester, so. They're like workhorses this year. So, what is your business?
I don't have a business.
Okay.
I'm just here to, I've been to the last 2 weeks as well, just to find out what it is, that's being offered. And
Okay. Yeah, wonderful. All about spending. And we're trying not to step on anyone's toes either, like, we want to support small businesses. So, we're trying to make connections with that small business, so we're able, especially for us, we do a lot of the market analysis data. We can give that market analysis data to a social media company or an SEO company and say, hey, we've done all of this research for you about the industry specifics, what you need to do at X, Y, and Z date. And now you just go, you do it. Because a lot of people, this is a lot of information, like the documents you receive, it's about 40 to 50 pages, depending on how many things that you want researched. But sometimes it's not your cup of tea. You can just give it to someone that says, hey, I know what you need, I'm gonna do it for you, type of thing.